All right, guys, what's up? My name is Brett Garamella. Today we're going to talk about how to get a defined jawline. All right, so let me just get started here. All right, so a lot of people want to know how to make their jawline more accentuated in photos. And a lot of that comes down to, I don't know why my computer's making so much noise. I'm going to speak up a little bit. So a lot of that comes down to your technique and the equipment you use. So having certain equipment can help, and then using it properly and posing your model properly can really help. So let me talk about that first. So one thing I recommend to get this jawline is to really hold the light up. Now I'll demonstrate with the light I have over here. If I have this light and I bring it on, right? If I hold it up high, all right, and I hold it down, let me just put my hat backwards, be easier. So if I hold this light up high, right, no matter where I hold it, as long as it's pretty high up, you can see the shadow underneath here, right? You can see my jawline. No matter where I turn, as long as it's pretty high, you can see my jawline. If I have it like down here, hold on, it's not going to be as pronounced. I think this is going to be tough. Moving it around and talking simultaneously. All right, so you always want to have the light above the subject. You want to have it at a point where if you have natural light or artificial light, it's got to be above eye level going down, so you have a shadow. Any shadow under here that's created under here, as you can see, the light's coming from over here, and you can see in my neck right here, you can see the shadow, and it's sort of going to be defined, right? And also right here, because I have it up, you can still see that line right there. Now, one way to get rid of that, we don't always want to use, you don't always want to have a jawline, right? The way to get rid of it, if you're doing like more beauty stuff, and just so you know, knowing how to get rid of it will help you improve and get it. So if you ever see this, right, you see how my jawline is just disappearing right now? See how that shadow just disappeared because I hold a reflector? See it without it? Now with it, let me hold it up there. Let me just open it up, right? I'm gonna open up a big one, right? So let's open up the silver. So you can get one of these reflectors, and this reflector will basically create light, and bam, look at that. It's all gone underneath, right? So I have, reason I have a jawline, I have a beard, so you can see it, right? But if I didn't have the beard, it wouldn't be as substantial. One thing you can do is you can just hold it underneath your models. So anytime you have it, this thing is just too big. All right, so over here with it, all right, now without it, okay, see the difference? See, especially when I turn, you see that jawline right now? See that shadow? Now with it, all gone, right? So anytime you use like a reflector or something like this, your jawline is gonna disappear. So that's more of a feminine, soft look, but having the jawline gives you a much stronger look. One thing you can do is you can move the light to the side. If I move the light to the side over here, to my side right here, right? And of course I want it up. It's not up right now, not as high as I'd like it. So remember, you want to move it high. The higher you move it, the better. All right? That's going to help create a better jawline, right? So it's kind of, you want to, it's not pointing down, right? If I point it down right here, see, there's the jawline, there's a shadow. All right, it's kind of hard to demonstrate and do this simultaneously. So let me just try to stop that. All right. So let me just lower this. All right. So one thing you want to do as a photographer, you always want to keep the light above. That'll help give you the nice, that jawline. If you're doing beauty, you want to get rid of it. Put one light up top and then put that reflector underneath. You'll get rid of that jawline. Another thing you can do, just change the angle. All right, just move a person to the side. See their jaw. You sort of got to move them around to get like the best angle. All right. Certain people look better at different angles. Their jaw is more accentuated. Like some people have that like Jay Leno jaw and others don't, you know. So if you know a person has like a cartoonish type jaw, you may not want to shoot them here unless you want to make them look like a cartoon. You may want to shoot them more straight on. Okay. But you can just turn them a little and still get that jaw line defined. Now, one thing to do to pose. So we talked a lot about equipment now. Let's talk about, and a little bit about technique. Let's talk more about technique. One thing I like to do is to tell the person to lift the back of their head. A lot of people say, lift your chin up, right? But if I lift my chin up, I look weird. I don't look natural. That's completely different than what you want to do, right? As a photographer, you don't want the person to look weird, all right? So you never want to say chin up. Never say that, all right? Instead, if they're slouching, if they're like in a weird pose or whatever, a lot of people are like this kind of nowadays. Like they'll have their chin back. Anytime you have your chin back, you're not going to see the jawline. See how you're not seeing as defined now? And it's also not looking flattering. Shoulders are kind of hunched. Sit up straight, all right? And lift the back of my head. All right, so one thing you want people to do is just to lift the back of their head. All right, the reason is because if they lift the front, they could lift the chin up and it's a weird angle. All right, so you don't want those weird angles. So you say lift the back of the head. Once you get the back of the head lift up, if they're still back here too much, just tell them to move their forehead forward slightly. Remember, it's all slight adjustments because if I'm sitting like this, I look like a soldier, right? It doesn't look natural. So you always want to make these changes, but tell the person to relax then, all right? Lift the back of your head and relax, okay? So that's one thing I like to tell the people. Sit up, but relax, okay? So I'm sitting up like this, and I'm relaxing, all right? So there, it kind of looks natural, right? Maybe my chin's not defined enough. Stick it out. Now just move to the side. Bam, you got it, all right? Just make micro adjustments. So first thing you do, make sure they're sitting up normal. All right. If you tell them to smile, when people smile, laugh, a lot of times their head goes back. You see no jawline. So remember, make sure their head's forward, then tell a joke. Make sure they're, you know, because if they just tell the joke or something to get them to smile, it may be a good smile, but sometimes their head is back. All right. For whatever reason, people don't like to move their head towards the camera, all right? So sometimes it may feel a little awkward for the person, but remember, we're trying to get that jawline exposed, all right? We're trying to get a more defined jawline. So steps for getting a good jawline, I'm gonna go over a summary. One, it's good to use artificial lighting. Don't put it straight on, all right? You wanna put it to a side, 45-degree angle. I prefer, it could be even more so to the side. Make sure it's above the subject, pointing down to create that shadow underneath. All right. The next thing you got to do is make sure the person is sitting upright. So tell them to lift the back of their head. And then you could just have them move their head slightly forward, just a little bit. Maybe that was too much right there. All right. And if you still want to pronounce it a little more, just have them turn a little bit. Bam, there's your jaw. Bam, there's your jawline. All right. Those are the steps to get a good looking jawline. All right. One last thing. Just thought of another thing I didn't mention. So sometimes when you shoot, I would say people who are overweight, all right, who are heavy, all right, they might have like a double chin or extra skin under here, or sometimes elderly people and so forth. They don't have, the skin's not tight, right? Like this. So what you want to do is you actually want to go, not shoot at eye level, but actually shoot above and shoot slightly down. I would say especially with women, because women are more cognizant of that, and they really don't like to see a double chin. Sometimes guys, it can get away with it a little more. Like a heavy guy may still look slightly flattering, whereas a woman with a double chin will probably not look as flattering. So I'd always recommend, especially you're shooting like brides or people who are a little overweight, just shoot above, looking down, and then that takes out the chin, the double chin, all right? And you still get a nice jawline, but you don't get all the fat and everything underneath here, all right? So that's one last tip to remember. So guys, I hope that was helpful. If you enjoy it, press that subscribe button. Also, press that like button and add a comment below. Maybe you know another way of showing the jawline that I didn't mention. And I love to hear from it, because that's what makes this channel so good. That's what makes the YouTube community so great, is that we can share ideas. I make videos. I've been making videos every day. I made a live video because I was a little tired today, but I'm going to make more live videos, more recorded videos. I got some great high quality videos that I've been spending a few weeks on that I'm going to come out in the near future. So I appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next video.